Here on TV1, bringing you the news. I am Ruhaz Irfan. Before we take a look at your stories in detail, let's start off with your headlines.
Scholarship examination to be held on January 22nd. A-level and O-level rescheduled for February 7th and May 23rd respectively. President says developing nations that take bold steps towards climate change mitigation deserves support. SLPP celebrates 5 years. Constituent parties join celebrations. Hippo spirit vessel with rejected Chinese fertilizer located off the coast of Valigama. Expectant mothers recalled for duty.
Now starting off with your top story for this afternoon, President Gotabaya Rajapaksa highlighted the reasons for the decision to ban the import of chemical fertilizer yesterday. The President shared these remarks in his address to the world leaders at the United Nations Climate Change Conference COP26 in Glasgow, Scotland last night.
The COP26, which is being held as a critical moment in the fight against climate change, is attended by around 25,000 people representing a wide range of fields, including heads of state, government representatives, scholars and businessmen from 197 countries. It is also the largest conference held in the United Kingdom.
Sri Lanka recently restricted the import of chemical fertilizers, pesticides and weedicides due to public health concerns, water contamination, soil degradation and biodiversity impacts. Although opposed by entrenched lobbies, this has created opportunities for innovation and investment into organic agriculture. Sri Lanka also leads the action group on mangrove ecosystems and livelihoods under the Commonwealth Blue Charter initiative. Sri Lanka welcomes investments, technology transfers and climate financing for its ambitious sustainability efforts, along with broader development assistance to support recovery from the COVID-19 pandemic. Climate change affects all nations, but disproportionately impacts developing island nations. Developing nations that take bold steps towards climate change mitigation and adaptation deserve extensive support. It is essential that the world's largest emitters of greenhouse gas fulfill their national commitments and assist developing nations navigate through the climate crisis.
President Gotabaya Rajapaksa has met Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi during the United Nations Climate Change Conference or COP26 in Glasgow, Scotland. It is reported that the leaders held cordial discussions. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi on his Twitter handle said it was a pleasure to meet President Gotabaya Rajapaksa in Glasgow.
The Ministry of Education has announced new examination dates for the exams that were scheduled for 2021 but were postponed to 2022.
Grade 5 scholarship examination will be held on Saturday 22nd January 2022. The GCE Advanced Level examination will be held from Monday the 7th of February to Saturday 5th of March 2022. The GCE Ordinary Level examination will be held from Monday the 23rd of May to Wednesday the 1st of June 2022. Exam dates have been revised to allow more time to study with the reopening of schools.
One person was reported dead after he was caught in currents and the Okanayaka River overflowed in Polwatuguda, Opanayaka. According to the police, the deceased individual had been caught in the currents when he attempted to cross the overflowing river. The body later found in search operation conducted by the police and area residents.
The Paragoda area on the Molkava main road was flooded after the Kudaganga overflowed as a result of incessant rains. According to our correspondent, the movement of vehicles along the road was hampered as well. Pre-landslide warnings have been issued to 22 divisional secretariats in 8 districts with the prevailing inclement weather in the country.
Badula district Passara Pradeshika
Passara Divisional Secretariat of the Badula district have been issued a level 2 warning. Alla Divisional Secretariat of the Badula District, Neluwa, Nagoda and Alpitia Divisional Secretariat of the Gaul District have been issued a Level 1 warning to be vigilant of landslides. We request the public to follow the guidelines issued by the National Building Research Organisation and the Disaster Management Centre at times of uncertainty.
Meanwhile, the water levels of many reservoirs and rivers across the island have increased as a result of heavy showers. The Department of Irrigation advises the public to be vigilant in this regard. According to the reports we have received, spill gates of several reservoirs are still open as of 7 a.m. today. 6 spill gates of the Rajangane reservoir located in the Anuradhapura district is currently open. 5,258 square feet of water per second is deployed to the Kalawaya. 2 spill gates of the Angamur reservoir have been opened as well. 664 square feet of water per second is deployed there. 4 spill gates of the Dadurua reservoir are opened as well. 2,800 square feet of water per second is deployed from the Dadurua reservoir. It is also reported that 3 spill gates of the Mahavilachi reservoir in Anuradhapura district have been opened as well.
Upcountry farmers are facing severe difficulties due to their crops, which are cultivated without fertilizer, being damaged by the heavy downpour. Farmers in Bandaravela, Alla and Valimada are in dire straits due to the destruction of their tomato cultivation. Farmers said that their crops would be destroyed due to various diseases as a result of the heavy rainfall. Farmers point out that their crops are beginning to rot at this point.
We are asking the leaders to explain this to us. We as farmers like to do this cultivation. We won't let it go. Please give us the necessary pesticides. We are asking the Agriculture Minister, what should we spray for these? The pesticides we purchased at 1,200 rupees is priced at 2,200 rupees today. Even at that price, it's difficult to find stocks in the market. We are saying that if there is an organic solution for this, simply tell us and teach us. We will then by all means accept it and go ahead using it. At the moment, there is nothing like that. The ministers have put us in a place where we are helpless. Look at the state of my tomato harvest. There is no pesticides to be used for these. A kilo of pesticides was placed at 800 rupees. Now it's around 3,000 rupees at the black market. In the end, it's the farmers that are left helpless. We can't even earn a rupee.
The Chinese vessel Hippo Spirit carrying organic fertilizer with harmful bacteria is reported located in the Sea of Sri Lanka, about 61 nautical miles off the coast of Valigama. This is confirmed through the Marine Traffic website.
On the 31st of October, Marine Traffic websites confirmed that the Hippo Spirit vessel, also sailing as Sayo Explorer, had entered the Sea of Sri Lanka, and at that time the vessel was located close to the Hambantota port. Meanwhile, the Ministry of Agriculture has reiterated that the Chinese organic fertilizer aboard the ship will not be allowed to unload in Sri Lanka. Secretary to the Ministry of Agriculture, Senior Professor Udit K. Jayasinghe said that Sri Lanka has not issued any kind of permission for the shipment to be unloaded in Sri Lanka. The Department of Agriculture emphasized that there are no plans to retest the organic fertilizer samples on board the ship by a third party. There is no end to the struggles of farmers demanding fertilizer. Today is the 10th day of the hunger fast launched by a group of farmers' organizations in Alahara in the Morakakanda region. Farmers point out that the aggravated fertilizer problem needs to be looked into immediately. There is no solution yet. We are once again telling this government to look into our requests. Our children are taken care with whatever we can earn from our cultivation. So we demand the government to provide a solution to this. Actually, we are very disappointed about how no one is paying attention to this problem. The Agriculture Minister nor the government is looking into this matter. We are making a request. Please look into this problem and provide the fertilizer. If that is done, we are ready to go back to our paddy fields from tomorrow.
Meanwhile, several views were expressed in the political arena regarding the Chinese ship carrying harmful fertilizer.
පස්සේ අපි යම් යම් අවස්ථාවල යම් යම් කරුණු කාරණා වෙනුවෙන් එක් රටවලට අනවශ්‍ය ආකාරයෙන් ගැතිවීම නිසා.
Because of the entanglements with certain countries over certain issues, a threat to our sovereignty has emerged. When it comes to the consignment of fertilizer, China has no right to request a third party to test it. Under the existing quarantine and standard laws, our country must take the final decision regarding it. We see the action as an influence over our country posed by China with the intention of fulfilling their interests.
චීන රජයේ කරන ප්‍රකාශය අපි දකින්න.
නැවේ නම වෙනස් කරලා රේඩාර් අවලංගු කරලා.
They have changed the name of the ship. They have disabled their GPS. As a result of that, I believe Sri Lankan authorities are trying to get that consignment of fertilizer to this country. They are expecting commissions on everything. This is about the pocket of politicians. Please look into this matter.
අවධානය යොමු කරන්න කියලා අපි ඉල්ලීමක් කරනවා.
Today, nanonitrate is the tax money taken from innocent people. Do not ruin that.
අපේ රටේ සම්පත් ටික ඉතුරු ටිකක් චීනයට දුන්නොත් එහෙම චීනෙන් අපිව පාලනය කරන්න පටන් ගනී.
If we give the remaining resources of our country to China, they will control us. This ship will definitely come to Sri Lanka, and we will have to accept the harmful fertilizer China offers us. If we didn't accept it, they will impose more restrictions on us. They will threaten to halt our projects. A ship is not a small fish. It is a big fish. To say that the ship has disappeared is a joke. Even though the government says that the ship has gone missing today, tomorrow the ship will come to Sri Lanka.
The 5th National Convention of the Sri Lanka Podujana Perumuna was held at the Nelumpukana Theatres today under the patronage of Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa.
The ceremony commenced after the arrival of the founder of the Sri Lanka Podujana Perumana, Finance Minister Basil Rajapaksa. Leaders and representatives of the 11 constituent parties of the government who are against the LNG deal were also present at the occasion. We did not form this party to defeat anyone. The Sri Lanka Podujana Perumana was formed to make the people of this country victorious. We embrace both the support of our friends and the challenges posed by our rivals. We expect to achieve massive political feats in the future and serve for the betterment of the future generations of our country. I request the party leaders and representatives who are present here, let us go forward without hatred and serve the nation. Let us work in unison. Let us face the challenges head on. The same people who oppose us are the same people who oppose the future generations of our country.
ප්‍රතිවාදීව අපේ පක්ෂයට යම් අභියෝගයක් එල්ල කරා නම් ඒ අභියෝග සියල්ලක්ම අපිට ශක්තියක් වුණ බව සඳහන් කරන්නේ ඊටම නිහතමානීව මොන බාධකම් කොටළු ආවා ජනතාව අත්හැරලා.
Regardless of the challenges we face, we never let the people down. We did not take any hesitant decisions. There are many things that can be done without the power of the government and state institutions. I believe the reason for this extended issue of teachers and principals was because we were away from politics. That is the same reason for farmers' protests as well. We need to understand the voice of the people. We need to actively engage in politics while we are in power as well. The SLFP was always there with the leftist parties. The SLPP have to embark on a similar path as well. All our parties must be in harmony. Ensuring harmony within the government is the responsibility of the SLPP.
අතකොළුත් නොවේ. ඒ නිසා සියලු පක්ෂ එදා හිටපු සියලු පක්ෂ එකට ඉන්න ඕන. ඒ සමගිය රකින්න එක ප්‍රධාන පක්ෂයේ අපේ වගකීමක්.
The Save the Motherland Unity organization today revealed of an attempt to frame charges against Reverend Father Cyril Gamini.
දැන්ට තියෙන තොරතුරු අනුව සිරිල් ගාමිණී පියතුමාට විරුද්ධව ICCPR පනත යටතේ යම් වරදක් සිදු.
With the information we received, investigations are being carried out on the charges against Father Cyril Gamini under the ICCPR Act and the Penal Code. So let's think for a minute. What did Father Cyril Gamini Fernando do? What did he say at the discussion? Facts were presented regarding the suspects and those who are responsible for the April 21st attacks. He only mentioned few names. We are speaking to an international body on International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights. How is that wrong under a Civil and Political Rights Act? How can they charge him under the ICCPR? What hate speech has he done? If this proceeds, Father Cyril Gamini will not be granted bail from the magistrate court. I am not certain if it will happen. But in case it happens, he will not be granted bail. In our country, pointing out a fault, seeking for justice regarding the April 21st attacks, is it breaching the ICCPR Act?
මේ කතෝලිකයෙක් ලෙස පාස්කුරිදා තත්ත්වප්‍රහාර යුක්තිය සෙවීම ICCPR පනත කඩ කිරීමක්ද?
Health authorities are not satisfied with the behavior and conduct of the people following the easing of restrictions.
This is not a task that can be done only by the Ministry of Health. If they are expecting us to guard the situation, it's not practical. In order to do so, the passengers and transportation authorities should pay attention to this. The transportation should be done in a way where there is no room for the spread of the disease, but in a way the people who contribute to the socio-economic activities of the country are provided with the needed facilities, and in order to run the industry without disruptions.
පැතිරීමට මෙවැනි මාධ්‍යයන් හරහා ඉඩකඩ අවුරාන් කටයුතු කිරීම වැදගත් වෙනවා. දීපාවලි උත්සවය වෙනුවෙන් මාර්ගබෝධිස නිකුත් කළා තියෙනවද මොනවා වගේ ඒ වගේ අන්තර් පළාත් සංචරණය මේ ආකාරයට සිද්ධ වෙන්න ඉඩ තියෙනවා.
There is a period where interprovincial travel can increase. During this time, minimizing travel following health regulations will help in curbing the spread of the virus during the festive season.
හරහා මේක අවම කරගන්න පුළුවන් වෙයි.
Meanwhile, State Minister Dr. Sudarshani Fernandapillai said it's important to adhere to health regulations.
More than 500 cases are reported daily. We see an increase in certain areas as well. 60% of the total population has received the vaccine. The only way to prevent the spread of any variant of the virus is to administer the vaccine and strictly follow health regulations. As a government, we cannot individually visit houses and monitor the movement of the people. So we need the cooperation of the general public.
The Ministry of Public Administration and Management has decided to recall expectant mothers for duty. Secretary to the Ministry of Public Administration, J.J. Ratnasiri, said that expectant mothers will be recalled for duty on a shift basis as per the requirement of respective institutions. He said the decision to recall expectant mothers for duties was reached focusing on the problems faced in continuing operations at state institutions. Meanwhile, the weekly public day scheduled for Mondays at government institutions will also take place subjected to certain limitations. The Minister of Public Administration said the people can meet with ministry officials upon reserving a date and time based on requirements.
Once again, taking a look at your latest news from the COP26 Climate Summit. Queen Elizabeth II urged leaders at the COP26 Climate Summit in Glasgow to rise above the politics of the moment and work together to create a more stable future for the planet.
In a video message recorded on Friday at Windsor Castle, she said she hoped leaders would answer the call of those future generations to address the impact of climate change.
If the world pollution situation is not critical at the moment, it is as certain as anything can be that the situation will become increasingly intolerable within a very short time. If we fail to cope with this challenge, all the other problems will pale into insignificance. None of us will live forever. But we are doing this not for ourselves, but for our children and our children's children and those who will follow in their footsteps.
More than 100 world leaders will promise to end and reverse deforestation by 2030 in the COP26 Climate Summit's first major deal. Brazil, where stretches of the Amazon rainforest has been cut down, will be among the signatories today. The pledge includes almost $19.2 billion of public and private funds. Experts welcomed the move, but warned a previous deal in 2014 had failed to slow deforestation at all, and commitments needed to be delivered on. India has promised to cut its emission to net zero by 2070, missing a key goal of the COP26 summit for countries to commit to reach that target by 2050. Prime Minister Narendra Modi made the pledge, the first time India has set a net zero target at the Glasgow summit. China has announced plans for carbon neutrality by 2060, while the US and EU aim to hit net zero by 2050.
Opener Jos Buttler smashed a magnificent unbeaten 101 to set up England's 26-run win over Sri Lanka in their Group 1 Super Tail match of the T20 World Cup last night.
FB එකෙන් Newsfirst ප්‍රවෘත්ති live බලන්න. අදම Newsfirst FB page එකට ගිහින් like කරන්න. ඉන්න තැනකදී live news බලන්න. දැනුවත් වෙන්න. ඇත්ත දැනගන්න. එය ඔබේ ITI.